Hello, good morning friends. I hope you are following the physics video lectures. Today we are entering to the new unit, that is the motion in one dimensions or motion in a straight line. There are the two different names are there. It may be called it as a motion in one dimension or motion in a straight line. So let me take the what does that mean by motion. So here is the word is the motion is there, that's why I am taking the what does that mean by motion. Let me take the motion is the definition means the change, if the object is change its position with respect to time, then we will call it as that object is said to be at motion. What does that mean? If a object changes its position with respect to time, then we will call it as the object said to be under motion. So how can we say that the object is under motion? That means the object must be changes its position with respect to some other object. That means the surrounding is there. So let me take here is the bus is moving. Let me take this is the bus. Bus is moving. So when bus is moving in this direction, let me take one of the tree is there here. One of the tree is there. So if the bus it is an object, it is changes its position from this position to it is going to the another position with respect to the surrounding, then that also if the time is passes, then the time is passes, the object is changes its position with respect to surrounding, then we will call it as the object is said to be under motion, or simply we will call it as if the object is changes its position with respect to time with time, then we will call it as the object is said to be under motion. Now what does that mean by one dimension motion? One dimension means we need to move in a straight line. So that means we need to move in a one axis. So that means when object moves along a straight line or in a single axis, the motion is called to be one dimension motion. What is the definition? When the object moves along a straight line, or if the object moves along a single axis, then that motion is called as a one dimension motion. One dimension means one axis. We are moving on one axis. If the car is moving on the road on the same line, so that we will call it as the car motion is the one dimension motion. Single axis it is moving. It is not moving in a different two axis. It is moving single axis. Now let me go to the mechanics. What does that mean by mechanics? So mechanics, we are entering to the mechanics. So mechanics is the branch of physics which deals with the conditions of under rest or on motion. So we are dealing a objects, that also we are framing some conditions. The object must be at rest or the object may be under motion. In that situation, if you are dealing the object, that subject is named as a mechanics. That means if you are dealing, what does that mean by this object condition which is at rest also, if we are dealing this object when the object is moving, that is also we call it as a mechanics also. Mechanics is the we are dealing the objects, the object must be at rest or the object must be under motion also. These two cases we will call it as a we are dealing about the object, that subject is named as a mechanics. Mechanics is divided into three important branches, that is the statics and kinematics and dynamics. These are the important branches are there. What does it mean by statics? Statics is nothing but the study of the object at rest or in equilibrium position, even they are under action of several forces. That means the object must be at equilibrium. So that means the object should not changes its velocity, that is called it as the equilibrium position, or the object may be at rest, that is also be called it as a equilibrium. So that means even it is having under action of several forces. Let me take if you are applying certain force, 10 Newton force in the from left to right direction, 10 Newton force from right to left direction, the object may be comes to the rest. When the object is at rest in the previous case, now also it is under rest. Let me take one vehicle is moving like this. See, we are applying some, this vehicle is moving with constant velocity, v is equal, let me take 10 km per hour. The object is moving 10 km per hour. Now certain force is applying nearly 100 Newton force from left to right, 100 Newton force from right to left. We are applying 100 Newton force. Then the object will not be changes its motion, it is moving in the same uniform velocity. That means we will call it as the object is at equilibrium position. So that means the object must be at rest, or the object must be move with uniform velocity, and even several forces are acting at that on that objects. That case, if you are dealing the object, that subject is named as the statics. So in the static condition, we are not no need of discuss about the time. So that means in the static, the time is not essential physical parameter when we are dealing with a static subject. Now let me go to the second one, kinematics. Kinematics is nothing but which deals with the study of the motion of the object without considering the cause of motion. Generally, what will cause the motion? The motion will cause due to the force of application on the object. So that means we are discussing the motion of the object without taking the account of the force. That means that subject is named as a kinematics. Let me, for your easy understanding, one of the object is moving from this place to, from the position P1 to, the object is moved from the position P2. So this object, we are dealing this study of this object, how much displacement is there, what is the velocity is there, what is the acceleration in this object. But we are not aware of, we are not discussing who is caused this motion. That must be some force must be act in the object. That force is no need of discussion in the subject. That subject is named as the kinematics. So you already aware about this one. Velocity is nothing but it is the rate of change in displacement. That means we need to know the time. Acceleration is nothing but a rate of change in velocity. That means we need to discuss about the time. What does that mean? In the kinematics, we need to discuss about the time. That means time is an essential physical parameter in the kinematics. That is the very important. What is the important? Kinematics is the branch of mechanics which deals about the moving bodies or motion bodies without considering the cause of motion. That cause is nothing but force only. Now let me go to the another one. What is meant by dynamics? Dynamics is also branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of the object, taking into the consideration of the cause of motion. In the previous case, we are dealing the moving object without taking the consideration of cause of motion, but in the dynamics we need to take the consideration of the cause of motion. That is the very important. So the cause of motion must be discussed in this one. Now one thing you need to one point we need to discuss here, as we are discussing the introduction point. The kinematics word is derived from the one of the Greek word, that is the kinema. Kinematics word is coming from the Greek word, that is the kinema. Kinema is nothing but it is the motion. The meaning of word is the, it is the Greek word. It is the Greek word. The meaning of kinema is motion. We are discussing about the moving bodies. That is the we are discussing, but we are not taking the account of what is the cause of motion. Now dynamics also, it is the Greek word. What it is the coming from dynamics only. Dynamics. It is also Greek word. What does that mean by dynamics? Means the meaning of dynamics is equal to power. Power is the word meaning in Greek. Dynamics means it is the power. Power will give the meaning of word. So now let me go to the another small important terminology. What does it mean by rest? We already discussed the motion. What does that mean by motion? If the object is changes its position with respect to time, when the time is passes, then the object is said to be under motion. Now what does it mean by rest? Rest is nothing but if an object is not changes its position with respect to surroundings when the time passes, then the object is said to be at rest. Let me a simple example. Say, let me take, this is the one person, this is also here one tree is there. So when the time passes, the person is under the surrounding of tree. This is the tree. Then if the object, this person is not changes its position even with respect to the tree when the time passes. Let me take, I am taking in 10 minutes I observed. in 10 minutes the person is stood in this same place only. That means what can we say? This person is not having any motion. Then we will say that the person is rest with respect to the tree. That is the definition for the rest. Rest means the object must not be changes its position with respect to the surroundings when the time passes. That is the rest definition. We can write the motion definition in the similar manner. So motion is nothing but if the object changes its position with respect to surroundings when the time passes, then we will call it as the object is under motion. Let me take one bus is moving. Already we discussed in the first example, one bus is moving. So let me take, here is the tree is there. So now bus is an object, a tree is the surrounding. So the bus, if we take some time, so the bus is moving from one point to other point it is went. So that means the object is changes its position with respect to the surrounding of the tree, then we will say that then object is under motion. But one thing you need to take here, rest and motion, they are the relative terms. They are depending upon the surrounding. They depends upon the surrounding. Now let me go to the rest and motion, they are the relative terms. Rest and motion, they are relative. The relative means they are not constant in each and every case. Let me take one small example. We can say that let me take, this is the bus is moving. In this bus one passenger is there. Let me take, this is the one passenger. Now here is the one tree is there. Outside of this bus one tree is there. When the bus is moving, we can say that this passenger is under motion with respect to surrounding of this tree, outside tree. Is it correct only, na? So then we will say that this bus is said to be under motion. This is the one case we can say this passenger is under motion with respect to tree. But let me go to the another case. This passenger is not having any change its object with respect to the another passenger in the same bus. Are you getting or not? Will you please understand one more thing? So now I am taking the surrounding, I am considering with the other passenger of the bus in the same bus. That means the passenger, the person, what we taken the observation of the first person, the passenger which we taken that is second passenger is called it as the surrounding. Then the first passenger is not changing its position with respect to the second passenger of the bus, even the bus is moving. That means the second case, what we can say, the person, the passenger 1 is said to be rest with respect to the second passenger. Then in one case the person is under motion, the second case the person is unrest. That means it depends upon the surrounding chosen. So if we change the surrounding, then the object may be under, it will under the motion, it can change to the rest also. That means the rest and motion, they are the relative terms. They can change depending upon the situation of the surrounding, but the choice of the surrounding. You can change the surrounding choice, then it can change it at a rest or it can change it to the motion also. I hope you understand. We will come to the next class. So I hope these are the introduction class for the first for the motion in a straight line or motion in one dimension motion. Thank you for watching.